In this video, we're going to explain exactly where the exposure to more breakdown on your body is coming from and what to do in order to fix it. All right, what's going on, guys? Dr. Dave back. This is Unbreakable Self. If you are in the toolkit, I appreciate you being here. If for some reason you got here, you have no idea why you're here, go to unbreakableself.com/toolkit, watch the first video, and then you'll get the next one. So start with the first video of why injury occurs, and then this will make a lot more sense. All right, but let's dive into what is an exposure in your environment, what is exposing you to more breakdown, and then ultimately what you can do about it. So the first thing you have to think about is the environment around you. So that's number one. So the major areas in your environment are going to be your work, your home, and then ultimately everything in between. So number one is work, we got home, and think about everything in between. What I mean is your car, it's your place, it's the gym, it's the running trail, it's pretty much everywhere. So the areas that we need to start thinking about is basically what causes more breakdown on your physical self. Again, in video one, we talked about stress, trauma, overuse, dehydration, malnutrition, and poor emotion. So think about areas of work that are causing stress, trauma, overuse, dehydration, poor emotion. Could be your boss, could be your workers. Maybe you own your own company. Think about those areas. You have to identify them, and we have to start to fix them from the ground up. Now, for most people, it's their desk, and that's the biggest thing. So if you have an ergonomic environment that is not at its optimal position, meaning your shoulders are nicely down and back, you're in a neutral position, and your head is neutral, so you're not looking down or up, if you don't have that, you are causing more breakdowns. You have got to change your work environment. I always talk about from work, you're a desk dweller. Most people are. We all work at desks. When I'm doing my videos, it's fun. I get to stand up, but when I'm working on this stuff, I'm at a desk too, and it's important to know what you need to do in order to change that. Okay, think about your car. Car is the same thing. Car, if you're driving and you got your arm up on the side, what are you doing? You're bringing your shoulder up. You're causing shoulder impingement. You're literally creating that for yourself. So think about your environment. Best possible case scenario for yourself is going to be in a neutral position while you're walking, while you're standing, but ultimately reducing breakdown on your system. Number two is your actions. Now you are your own worst enemy. It's kind of hard to believe, but that's just the case. If you are taking action or improper action, what's going to happen is that you're going to be breaking down. Now, where are you acting that is now causing more breakdown? And for most people, it's their movements. So if your actions and your movements are improper, they're dysfunctional, you're obviously going to create more breakdown. So number one reason I see injury in the office is because people are moving improperly. They just don't know where things are happening, where the compensation is happening. So think about whatever activity you're taking a part of. Could be just being a mom. If you're being a mom and you need to get on the ground, you need to pick up your child, you have to move properly. Don't bend, lift, and twist. Get your body to move well, and ultimately you will reduce breakdown. What other actions could there be? Well, it could be activities that you're doing or lack thereof. And what's a perfect example of an activity of daily living that you are taking every single day, which most people don't think about this, is that when they're doing their dishes, and for most people, their dishwasher is off to the left or the right. And so what they do is they go from the dishwasher, instead of moving their whole body, what they do is they just rotate and then they put the dish in. They rotate and put the dish in. And when you rotate, you keep rotating, you keep rotating, you keep rotating, what's going to happen? You start shearing the lumbar spine, and that's when you get ligament laxity, and that's when you get pain because your body can't handle it, doesn't know what to do. So again, your movements and your actions of activity daily living have a major component. So the way you are working in your environment is the reason why you're going to cause more breakdown. Other actions that you can take, hydration is a huge one. So hydrate your tissues. If you're noticing that you're living in a warm environment, we live in Texas, so in the summer it gets hot. So I ingest at least 100 ounces of water, if not more, 150 ounces of water. And sometimes when I'm still feeling pain and dysfunction, I'll take in some calcium. So again, your actions will speak volumes if you know what to do. Number 3 is your past. Again, we are subject to our past. We are not the ones that are, what's the best way I can describe this? You are not the reason right now, you are not your past, but your past does play a part. Don't use it as a crutch to not allow yourself to go to the next level, but be very mindful of how your past is affecting your now. What I mean by that is if you have a past injury, and we're talking about physical limitation right now, if you have a past injury that is reducing your range of motion in joints, tissues, or movement, you are now causing more dysfunction. So you have to identify every area of exposure to yourself. Other areas of exposure, like toxic exposure, are going to be, for instance, pollutants, fertilizers. If, for instance, you are putting aluminum on your body every day, you are actually going to cause a hormonal imbalance. Then your body can't function because it's going to be pulling nutrients from your muscles and tissues in order to regulate that and get rid of that. And so ultimately you actually break down more, little stuff that you might not have known. So think about the things that you are exposing yourself that you otherwise might not know. For instance, I was putting deodorant spray on me every day, and I didn't realize I was destroying myself because I had this hormone imbalance after putting deodorant spray because it's got a hormone already in it. And so ultimately what was happening is I was getting my calcium and magnesium ripped from my tissue because it needed to balance out the toxins and get rid of it. And ultimately my body started to break down. So anytime I would go out there and try to do a workout, I would always tweak something. So think about the foods you are putting in your body. Think about your past injuries, all of this stuff. So everything has an effect on your body. So if you can at least eliminate the exposure as much as possible, now I get it, it's life, you got to do what you got to do, but if you can eliminate the exposure as much as possible, you will at least slow down the breakdown process on your body, and then ultimately you can start to recover, which we'll get into in the next video. If you're super pumped, if you're super excited already, and you want to just dive right in, I have made a complete list of environmental, physical, chemical, even internal exposure to toxins. I call them even emotional toxins. So we put together a complete Unbreakable Body program. I'm going to put a link below if you're super jazzed about just diving right in and you're sick of being injured and you want to dive right in, then click on the link below and you'll be able to get into that program right away. Otherwise, wait for the next video. We're going to be talking about how to fix yourself. And that one is important. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching again. Again, my name is Dr. Dave. This is Unbreakable Self, and we'll talk soon.